was spread that I was to blame.
A Saxon slave, he killed his master at a wedding party.
And so with Breda I fled to Wessex. To Alfred, a man who would become king. Though not all agreed,
I am my father's heir.
So much for joining me in the throne room. Now today I want to talk a little bit about Uhtred of Baebenburg. This is episode 4 of the 4th episode of the first season of The Last Kingdom. It aired on October 31st, 2015. Now I've been a little bit late on this, but I will make sure to finish The Last Kingdom this week. So make sure that you stay tuned for some great episodes with some great clips included in the end and at the beginning. Now, after Uhtred faces betrayal and falls into hostile hands, his Danish brother, Ragnar the Younger, scrambles to save his life. Wessex, while bathing in a stream in the middle of winter, Uhtred is confronted by Ada the Younger, who tries to bribe him to walk away from the arranged marriage Alfred has planned for him. The girl is Mildred, a pious goddaughter of Ada the Elder, and someone that young Ada seems to harbor secret feelings for and would hate to see betrothed to a Dane. Uhtred has already paid the bride price of 33 pieces of silver through Leofric. States that she is plain, of course. Now, Uhtred knows that she owns lands and will therefore serve his long-term purpose of giving him what he wants and what he needs to be respected elderman. Now, my only issue with that is that Uhtred is seeming to feel like he is owed something, and it's not going to work out for Uhtred at the end of this episode. Now, in Winchester, Wessex, in the capital, Mildred removes her hood and Uhtred sees her for the first time with a look of pleasant surprise on his face. He actually likes her. He thinks she's very beautiful. Wessex watches on as she marries Uhtred of Baebenburg. Now, Uhtred, Mildred, and Leofric set out to their new home as the winter starts to thaw. Now, Uhtred, a little disbelieving that Alfred would gift him such a beautiful bride, begins to ask prodding questions and soon learns that Mildred's deceased father had promised a tenth of his lands yield to the church, despite not being able to pay his full of rent for many years. Now, the sum of the current debt is 2,000 shillings, which Alfred could remove but has chosen not to in order to test Uhtred's disobedience as an English elderman. So this is a test. Upon arrival, Mildred greets her common folk and gives them the silver from her bride price, of which Uhtred learns she was cheated by almost half. Their first night as a couple is tense as Uhtred's quick temper clashes with Mildred's meek nature. And so he's like, why are you giving the money away? We need that. We definitely don't need to be giving money away because this is something that we need to pay back, the king and the church, obviously. Now, months pass and Mildred is now pregnant with Uhtred's first child. Oswald and also Mildred patrol their lands, seeing an endless line of Danes crossing through the trees, amongst whom is actually Ragnar the Younger. Now the peace has been broken and King Guthrum's army marches west towards Whereon in retaliation. A great Wessex army is raised and sits to meet them. Uhtred rides with Mildred and Leofric at once to Winchester to warn Alfred. Now back in Wessex, Uhtred takes an opportunity at base camp to confront Alfred about the outstanding debt of his deviously arranged marriage. But before Uhtred can begin, Alfred informs him that Ivar the Boneless, brother of Ubba, has been killed in Erland, and Ubba has deserted Guthrum to avenge him. Now the discussion leads to an argument about the gods versus the one true god. Which god or gods provides omen or miracles? Do they not have the same effect? Alfred reveals that his distrust of the Danes, therefore Uhtred stems from the desire for personal gain and pleasure without sacrifice. To Alfred, penance is what separates the good English Christians from the pagan heathens. As a vegetarian, Alfred has broth. As an elderman, Uhtred has his debts. It is how Uhtred acts in the face of his dilemma that will determine Alfred's trust in him. Now back in Warham, Wessex, it's fallen in the hands of the Danes. Young Ragnar, eager to lead his men amongst the Saxon and army, continues westward conquest, interrupts Guthrum's moment of reverence inside the Christian church, which he finds strangely quiet and peaceful, but Guthrum fears losing more men in the wake of Ubba's desertion, and admits that despite overtaking Wareham, they can't be starved out. Now outside Warham, Wessex, in talks at the gate, Alfred demands the Danes exit Wessex, but ship back to East Anglia in 1 month's time, of course. Now 10 hostages from each side are exchanged as a condition during the 1-month peace term. Amongst the Wessex hostages are Father Selbix, who has also instructed to convert Guthrum to Christianity, and Uhtred, who has been instructed to escape and light a beacon signal should word of Bubba's return be heard. Wareham, Wessex. That night in Wareham, the reunion between Uhtred, Ragnar, and Breda is joyful as they drink together. Uhtred finally feels at home, but his new Saxon family proves to be another obstacle in the Danish affinity. Now, albeit tempted to join Ragnar, he is still drawn towards the dream of Baebenburg despite Alfred's incessant attempts to test his allegiance. He continues to grapple with his two identities, never fully accepted by either side, which is very messed up because it's not his fault that he got kidnapped as a child, basically, and he's like a prisoner of war, just like the young Greyjoy. So you're kind of confused on who your father is, who to be, loyal to, but you got to be, honest with yourself at the end. Now, a messenger arrives from Erlin with the news of his return to England, as well as reinforcements from London, in the Kingdom of Mercia, of course. Now, this is all news Guthrum needs to hear to know he can deal defeat with Alfred in battle, and orders his men to get rid of English hostages. But Uhtred is slain when Ragnar steps in and tells Guthrum that he will have. Next is episode 5, which we've definitely